Greg Elinsky. Who do I run into at O'Hare but Greg Elinsky, four-time All-American for Penn State. Greg, first off, 2014 NCAAs. What did you think of the tournament overall?
I think it was great. I mean, the excitement of not knowing who the ultimate winner would be for the title was exciting, all the way throughout the whole tournament. And it was a neck race. I thought that Edinburgh did an exceptional job with their program. Penn State, of course, winning is near and dear to my heart. So, that was a great outcome for us. But I thought it was a great competition all the way around.
Let's talk the National Registry of Wrestling. That's what you guys started, correct?
Right. National Registry for Wrestling, nr4w.com, is a agnostic, independent site where people can go sign up, and we're trying to really pull together the entire sport of wrestling so that we can ultimately, one day, when we have 1 million people signed up, go and work out a deal with national television coverage.
We had unprecedented coverage this year. Obviously, you were at the tournament. I was at the tournament, so I really couldn't watch the ESPN coverage, but I talked to a lot of folks about it, and they said it was unbelievable. And you were telling me, actually, they had like a studio set up, almost like a ESPN game day type thing.
Yeah.
And, that and our sport growing, how important is that to the growth of the sport and television?
Yeah, I think the television and the National Registry for Wrestling is really the way to do this, meaning that in order to remain relevant on every level, college programs, the Olympic, IOC and decision that was rendered there and being a temporary status at this juncture, but back in the Olympics, and to also grow our sport, we've got to be on television. I think we're in the media age in the 21st century, and I think that ultimately we've got a great fan base. I think there's probably 25 million fans of wrestling that have either wrestled or have been involved in wrestling in some way, shape, or form over the last 50 years. And if we can get 1 million or 2 to come together, that would definitely solidify and galvanize the sport so that we could get a national TV contract for our best assets, our best wrestling assets to be on TV.
You and I are from Ohio Rich, Scholastic Wrestling is amazing there, So to us, it's kind of like, the sport, it belongs. But to other people from states that may not be rich in wrestling, like states like Georgia, states in the South Florida,
right.
The Louisiana, Arkansas just started 6 years having wrestling. How important is it to get into those markets and get into those places and make wrestling important to in those places?
Yeah, and I think the way that we do that, I think it's important, the way that we do that is that we do galvanize the sport through an agnostic site like the registry. It's free to do. People can go sign up, and once that's done, and we're now on national television for not just 1 year or one event, like ESPN covered us nationally for one event in this tournament, and all of the rounds of the competition, which was great on ESPN 3 or ESPN 1, their flagship. But ultimately to have our best matches, whether it's Cornell against somebody or Penn State against Iowa or whatever those sold out events are, and those are now on TV around the country, ultimately that will, I think, beget success of solidifying our real fan base that's out there. And so I think it's important, the fans in Georgia and the fans in Florida, I think it's important to make it a relevant sport so that people can view it and see it at least 5 or 6 times a year on national TV.
You're painting a picture of, of your vision for the registry, but ultimately, what is the ultimate goal? Where do you want it? Where do you see it going at its peak?
Really, to me, it's just about exposing the sport on a national platform, our best assets on a national platform. I think that that's my end destination for this. I think that we have the fan base. I think the fans are out there. They're just silent, and I think they're being fed a different outcome, meaning that there's 1,500 basketball games, for example, that they'll watch, or presumably that will be shown on TV. I don't know if they'll watch them, but they'll be on TV this basketball season. And there will probably be only 10 or 11 or 12 wrestling matches shown on all of cable. So ultimately, my end destination with the registry is that we all come together, whether you're USA Wrestling, whether you're AAU, New Way, or whatever whatever your affinity is within wrestling, whether you're a parent of a wrestler or a grade school wrestler or whatever the case may be, come together, and ultimately what we do is by solidifying and galvanizing, we can then have our product, wrestling, whether it's on the Olympic level or whether it's on the college level, be shown on national television on a regular basis, throughout the season. And that's really the end destination.
does our sport, you just talked about those organizations, New Way, USA Wrestling, there's NHSCA, there's all these different national organizations. Does our sport tend to cannibalize itself a little bit amongst organizations?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think that, what has been dubbed the alphabet soup of wrestling, it's New Way and USAW and the National Wrestlers Coaches, NSCA and so forth, all these different acronyms for different affiliations within wrestling, they may all serve a purpose. And so we're not trying to tell them to stop what they're doing or say what they're doing is not bona fide and worthy. What we're really saying is, in order to galvanize our sport, we all have to sort of take that, those labels off of us and just say we're here for wrestling. And the way to, I think, remain relevant as a sport, with the IOC, with colleges that are dropping programs, is to make our sport relevant in the media. We're in a media age, and if you're seeing this, you're seeing me through some media portal, and as a result of that, I think that we've got to remain relevant on the media front. And the way to do that is to aggregate our fan base. There's only two ways to really be on national TV. One is that we go and get an advertiser that will pay for production and airtime of wrestling, whether it's Iowa and Penn State, and put that on a national TV channel, or someone comes up with the dollars themselves and is willing to go pay for it. So I think by registering, that's the best way that we can all pitch in. It's free and it'll be easy to do, and by aggregating ourselves will ultimately allow us to get to a spot where I think we can now get this great product of wrestling out to everybody that is interested in watching it throughout the country in states like Florida and Georgia and Texas and so forth.